From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Monday, February 19th, 2024. I'm D-Ray Knight. Amy Rose is on assignment. This is what's going on. Rapid City area legislators tackled several topics at the latest legislative Cracker Barrel held at Western Dakota Tech on Saturday. Among the topics discussed were legislation to boost the Black Hills timber industry. Some audience members and legislators believe that other industries should also be included, but proponents argue forestry impacts other businesses related to tourism, trucking, and more. The timber industry has had difficulties in the past few years. Another bill that garnered lengthy discussion was Senate Bill 144, written by Senator David Johnson. This bill would allocate $90 million to improvements in infrastructure at South Dakota's airports. Meanwhile, lawmakers failed to pass two bills last week. First, Senate Bill 220, a bill aimed at prohibiting an employer from withholding compensation from an employee who quits without notice. And second, a Senate bill that would have helped South Dakota firefighters, both paid and volunteer, with presumptive cancer care. That bill was defeated in the Senate Commerce and Energy Committee by a vote of 7-2. Senator David Johnson of Rapid City sponsored the legislation. He blamed lobbyists for its failure to pass. Johnson says if there's interest in the bill going forward, it's possible to reintroduce it next year. Lawmakers are off today for the President's Day holiday. In news from the nation and the world, the UN Security Council is expected to vote Tuesday on an Arab-backed resolution demanding an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza, which the United States announced it will veto. Algeria, the Arab representative on the council, put the draft resolution in a final form this past weekend. In addition to a ceasefire, the final Algerian resolution rejects the forced displacement of Palestinian civilians and demands the immediate release of all hostages taken by Hamas during their surprise October 7th attacks. The Russian military says its forces have completed their takeover of Avdiivka by eliminating the last pocket of resistance at the eastern Ukrainian city's huge coke plant. Monday's announcement follows Kyiv's forces being driven out over the weekend as a result of the sheer weight of Russian troop numbers and greater firepower. Ukrainian forces confirmed pulling out of the bombed-out city in what amounted to be a triumph for the Kremlin, even though the 4-month battle was a costly one. The victory was a morale boost for Russia days ahead of the 2-year anniversary of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24, 2022. For Ukraine, the loss underscored its reliance on the supply of Western weapons and ammunition, as holdups have left it short of provisions and handicapped in the fight. Senator Sen Scott is treading carefully on questions about whether he would have certified the 2020 election had he been vice president at that time. The South Carolina Republican is seen as a potential running mate if Donald Trump becomes the Republican presidential nominee. On January 6, 2021, about 2 months after Donald Trump lost the election, then Vice President Mike Pence defied his boss and refused to use his largely ceremonial role in overseeing the election certification process to block Democrat Joe Biden's victory. Scott declined to say in 2 Sunday news show interviews whether he would have acted differently as vice president. Scott dropped out of the 2024 race and has endorsed the former president. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Lots of sunshine today and 49. Low tonight, 30. And that was your Daily Slice for Monday, February 19th, 2024. The Daily Slice is a production of Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D-Ray Knight with Amy Rose. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jaquess. I'm D-Ray Knight. Have a great President's Day.